Their teenage son died in an avalanche at a ski resort.
What made them comfortable to open that terrain that day?
And they're still looking for answers about what happened. Plus, victimized by a hit and run.
Well, initially, of course, I'm mad. I'd say other words, but I'm very mad.
A Calgary family wants to know who caused all this damage. And reasons for optimism.
Back up, look at that elusiveness. Parecki shoots, scores!
I feel great. I feel confident.
The Flames season is over, but they're already looking forward to the next one.
CTV Calgary, local breaking news. With Tara Nelson. Reporting tonight, Ian White.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us. The family of the 15-year-old Calgary boy who died following an avalanche at Nakiska in February is still waiting for answers from the ski resort. But there might finally be movement, as the ski hill is now allowing a third-party investigation into the tragedy. Jacqueline Wilson reports.
Ever since Emilio Hisdera put on skis for the first time, he's excelled at the sport. It became his passion.
He was such an amazing person. He was the perfect son. He had endless energy.
The 15-year-old's life came to a tragic end. A day of ski racing at Nakiska was scrubbed due to too much snow on February 27th. Instead, Emilio and a friend went free skiing inbounds, and while boot packing uphill, they triggered an avalanche in the Monster Glades area. Emilio was fully buried and died the next day in hospital. The other boy was partially buried but survived. A day after, the resort of the Canadian Rockies sent us a statement saying it was doing a full investigation and would have more details when they become available. The statement also included condolences. We've been reaching out ever since for an update on the investigation, but the company has not acknowledged our request or replied.
I think out of this whole thing, it's perhaps the most hurtful, maybe a bit insulting part. They haven't reached out at all to us. Not a condolence, not an apology. We haven't heard anything about the investigation that they're doing.
The family just wants answers and changes.
I hope just one day they can honestly just answer two questions. First question would be, what made them comfortable to open that terrain that day? What mitigations did they put in place, if any, to stop something like this from happening? And the second question, what have they learned from this? How are they going to change to make sure this doesn't happen again?
One mountain recreation expert told us investigations are normally done in days or weeks and says it may be some time before the investigation is public. Avalanche Canada says it also doesn't have any more information on the slide, but will be able to do an incident analysis once the period for a lawsuit to be filed is over, which is 2 years in Alberta. As for Emilio's family, they're now working to keep his memory alive with honorary events and awards.
I think most importantly, he was inspiring. I think he inspired everyone to be a better person.
Jacqueline Wilson, CTV News, Calgary.
And CTV has learned the survivor's family has hired third-party avalanche experts to find out what happened. Today, an independent investigator and a mountain guide were allowed to visit the ski resort and see where the avalanche occurred. A man who brutally murdered his wife in their northeast Calgary home has been sentenced for second-degree murder. In April of 2024, 25-year-old Manpreet Kaur's body was found in a Redstone house. An agreed statement of facts says there was blood all over the home and Kaur died from strangulation. 25-year-old Maninder Preet Singh has been ordered to serve at least 15 years behind bars before he's eligible for parole. At that time, he will be deported to his native India because his work visa has expired. Police are investigating what they're calling a targeted shooting in the southeast this morning. A man was rushed to hospital in life-threatening condition after the shooting in the community of Red Carpet. There's no word on suspects, but police say there is no risk to the public. A Calgary man has been charged in connection with a stabbing outside Crossiron Mills on Monday. Airdrie RCMP say the accused and the victim met at the mall's parking lot for the sale of cell phones. Police say the victim was stabbed in the chest and is recovering in hospital. A 46-year-old man was arrested in BC on Tuesday. A Calgary family could not catch a break this week. A vehicle sped into their yard, damaging both their vehicles and the garage door. Then it happened again the very next night, and it was all caught on camera. Tyson Fedor reports.
Their garage door is boarded up. Their Toyota Highlander is a write-off, and the evidence of a hit and run sits in a box in the Sponagles garage.
Seeing the video of a car coming down the street at a high rate of speed, swerved into my truck, hit my garage door, and I was like, no, this can't be right. This can't be right.
Neil and Sherry Sponagle were sleeping Wednesday night around 11:30 when a black SUV failed to navigate a turn in front of their home.
We were still sleeping. None of us heard it. None of us heard a damn thing.
The crash was all caught on camera. The vehicle slammed into their garbage bins, barreling into Neil's truck and damaging their garage door and Sherry's vehicle inside.
If it wasn't in here, this car could have been in our kitchen.
Initially, of course, I'm mad. I'd say other words, but I'm very mad.
As for the driver, they fled the scene.
Someone knows something, and we would just love to let this owner own up to their mistake.
The incident happened in the 100 block of Evansdale Way Northwest. The Sponagles say they matched some of the broken parts on the driveway to a black 2011 BMW X5, but their bad luck did not end there. A second vehicle slammed into their property Thursday night.
Not even 24 hours later, we had a second vehicle come on the same route, and this time a young kid took out my rock at the corner of my driveway.
That driver stayed on scene and cleaned up the garbage before the Sponagles told him to go home. Police are investigating the hit and run, and the Sponagles are hopeful the driver will turn themselves in, as they are left facing insurance bills which they expect will exceed $30,000.
You can blame the weather, you can blame the roads, you can blame the way that they are sanded, but in the end, it's the person behind the wheel.
It's hard to believe that someone could drive away from that.
Tyson Fedor, CTV News, Calgary.
And police are asking anyone with information or CCTV footage from Wednesday night to contact them or Crime Stoppers. Sexual assault charges against a self-proclaimed spiritual leader and his wife have been stayed. Their lawyer claims John and Lee Ann de Ruyter were the victims of an overzealous Crown prosecutor. Amanda Anderson reports.
A week ago, I would not have expected this.
Just 5 months before his clients were scheduled to go on trial, the Alberta Crown Prosecution Service confirms it has stayed charges against John and Leanne de Ruyter.
And we're just glad that it's over.
The husband and wife were each facing 6 counts of sexual assault. When charges were laid in 2023, police said John was the leader of a spiritual group known as the College of Integrated Philosophy, or the Oasis Group. It was alleged John told female members of the group he was directed by a spirit to engage in sexual activity with them, and if they did, it would help them achieve spiritual enlightenment.
We were made aware of certain disclosure and certain conduct by the Crown that was troubling, and I think was so troubling that it caused the senior staff at the Crown Prosecutor's Office to enter the stay of proceedings.
In a statement, the Alberta Crown Prosecution Service says, "We understand the personal and emotional impact this process can have and the disappointment and frustration this outcome may cause." It went on to say multiple senior prosecutors reviewed the file, determining it could not proceed with charges. 2 of the 6 complainants asked a publication ban protecting their identities be lifted, which was granted late Friday afternoon. Batos understands they're likely unhappy with the stay of proceedings, but says so are his clients.
Because some people will want to suspect guilt was always there and that they got off on a technicality. We want to make it clear that this is far from that.
The ACPS says an internal review is underway to look at what happened and ensure a situation like this does not happen again. Batos says his team plans to ask a separate publication ban on part of the proceedings be lifted so that more details about what happened can be brought to light. Amanda Anderson, CTV News, Edmonton.
You're watching CTV News, Calgary.
Alberta's premier is denying accusations of gerrymandering as her government gets set to help redraw the provincial electoral map. A UCP-led committee is taking control of Alberta's riding boundaries from an independent commission, though the premier promises it'll remain politically neutral. Tim Brooke has more on the process and why it could cause trouble for Elections Alberta.
It took an independent commission a full year to write this report and then remap Alberta's electoral boundaries. But the province says it will now instead turn to a government-led committee to revisit the map, without public consultation.
My understanding is that we'll then go on to another review panel. They'll look at all of the information.
The Premier says concerns were raised about the size of some ridings, particularly in rural Alberta. 2 ridings there were redistributed in the reports, and Danielle Smith wants them back in.
It's all under the guidance of what was written in the addendum.
But as one of the report authors points out, the recommendation that a committee of MLAs implement an expanded map came from only one member of the 5-member commission. Political watchers accuse the Premier of trying to rig the map.
This is really about extenuating rural representation and hindering and diluting urban representation. And urban Alberta is where the population growth is occurring.
Because rural Alberta votes so strongly for the Conservatives that if you shoehorn in some rural constituents into ridings that are otherwise urban, it makes them more likely to go Conservative.
And there are other issues at play. Elections Alberta needs at least 1.5 years to prepare for an election with new ridings. Right now, we are that far out from the next provincial vote, and the new government-led committee still has until the fall to get its mapping done. That means more work for the agency and more costs to taxpayers.
So this is pretty unprecedented. Normally, these decisions are made quite quietly, and voters don't even realize how they're affected by boundaries until the election rolls around.
And Tim joins us live. Tim, the clock is ticking toward a planned October 2027 vote.
Yes, Ian, and that means even if this new government committee rushes and makes sure that that report and the map are in by the fall deadline, it still only gives Elections Alberta about 1 year to prepare for that vote. And really, that's not a lot of time if you consider a lot has to be done. Changes need to be made to software, staffing needs to be organized, and voting locations need to be chosen. So it will be a little bit tight. Now, for her part, Premier Danielle Smith told reporters today that the agency will have all the resources it needs to make sure that election is done fairly. But Ian, she did not directly address that tightening timeline.
Thank you, Tim. A Calgary City Councillor says community concerns over the new home of the Cowboys Music Festival in West Downtown are ongoing and unresolved. The city and Penny Lane Entertainment have a 10-year sponsorship agreement that saw Millennium Park renamed to Cowboys Park. It's also home for Penny Lane's 10-day Stampede Music Festival. Last year, 311 received 126 related complaints in addition to concerns over reduced access to the skate park. Councillor Mike Atkinson says despite talks with stakeholders, West End residents, administration and Penny Lane on addressing these issues, this year's festival will go ahead with no changes and even more leeway for the festival's operator.
In the new agreement, 10 days in advance to set up and 10 days to tear down. There is no other festival in this city that gets that kind of right to public space.
Atkinson says he will continue to fight for area residents and the skateboard community and push for changes ahead of next summer's Stampede season. Street sweeping is scheduled to start Monday in Calgary, but this week's snowstorm may delay things. Residents in the first scheduled communities should already see notice signs indicating the sweep dates. Sweeping will occur on weekdays between 8 a.m. and 4 p.m. You can also find your scheduled sweeping date by visiting calgary.ca/sweep and entering your address. And you can also sign up for email and text notification reminders. And remember to remove your vehicles on sweeping days.
Over 17,000 lane kilometers of streets to be swept, hundreds of neighborhoods, and we have crews working through districts all over the city.
Due to the heavy snow, some sweeping scheduled for Monday may be postponed. Sweeping is expected to continue until June, and this year's sweeping budget is about $7 million. Well, Adriana, that just says it all about Calgary, doesn't it? We can't get to clean up the streets from last season's winter storms because we had a recent winter storm in the spring.
That's right. And with the warmer temperatures, everything's just melting. Everything is wet, so you'll expect some very slushy conditions outside. But right now, plenty of sunshine. We're seeing 4 degrees in Calgary, and that's actually our daytime high with a wind coming from the east-northeast at 6 kilometers an hour. And really, the sunshine and warmer temperatures ahead will be sticking around for some time. So here's a look at those current temperatures across Alberta. 4 degrees in Calgary, but 6 in Lethbridge, 7 degrees in Edmonton, Rocky Mountain House, and Drumheller, 8 degrees in Jasper, and 5 in Banff. We'll have a full look at your 5-day forecast later on in the show.
Thanks, Adriana. SAIT is cutting jobs today. Next, how fewer international students at the institution is having a major financial impact. And Air Canada cancels some routes due to the soaring cost of jet fuel. A wave of job cuts at SAIT is rippling across campus as the school grapples with declining enrollment and growing budget pressures. The province points to changing market conditions and federal policy shifts, but students, staff, and labor leaders say long-standing funding gaps are at the root of the problem. Mark Villani reports.
It's a calm and sunny day on campus, but the dust is only settling after a major slashing of positions at the Southern Alberta Institute of Technology.
There's 65 positions up for abolishment.
Positions ranging from finance, administration, student support, and maintenance. The Alberta Union of Provincial Employees says many of these roles are critical for daily operations, and these cuts could create more overcrowded classrooms or cancel entire programs.
Post-secondary is one of the best ways that we can invest in our future. Without that investment, our economic future is not secured.
SAIT declined an on-camera interview but pointed to a reduction in international students following recent federal policy changes. These changes have resulted in a decline in enrollment, requiring the institution to make difficult but necessary budget adjustments. We are currently working through organizational and workforce adjustments.
It's not totally unexpected.
The province says changes in market dynamics are out of its control, and post-secondary institutions will have to make tough decisions.
We have provided some increased funding to the post-secondary system this particular budget, and so hopefully that will provide some relief, some assistance.
An increase this year, but labor leaders blame a lack of overall provincial funding that hasn't kept up with inflation.
The government wants Albertans to believe that it's not their fault, but frankly, their fingerprints are all over the knife.
Meanwhile, student representatives say more support is needed to fill labor shortages in the economy sooner than later.
SAIT students are your construction students. They do the tech, they do health, they do everything. This is a province-wide issue, but especially at SAIT, we have a lot of critical roles.
But without enough revenue, some say job cuts are inevitably becoming a sad new reality.
So there has to be a better plan, and it has to be the political will to actually fund this sector.
We're looking at a new funding model, which we hope will be available for the next budget cycle.
And Mark is live now from SAIT. And Mark, it's not just job losses. SAIT will also see some program reductions.
Yeah, that's right, Ian. SAIT says servicing and staffing will be reduced in several programs, most notably the communications marketing, the LAM Learning Center, student counseling, as well as the Office of the Registrar, to name a few. Meanwhile, other programs now on pause. These include peer mentorship, English language conversations, as well as the student engagement program. The school also says, Ian, that it will be cutting back on hosting some events to reduce costs.
Mark, thanks very much. More modular classrooms are on the way for schools across the province. The plan will see 189 modulars delivered over the next school year. They'll hold about 5,400 students. The portability means they can be quickly deployed to where they're needed most. The government has more than 160 school projects underway across the province, and the modulars will provide space until the new buildings are ready. The education minister says modulars have been around for a long time, and they are here to stay.
I'm confident that we'll be able to ease a lot of the pressure that we've seen and hopefully get to a position where modulars are no longer needed, but we never know what's going to happen in the future, and I would imagine that that's something that we'll probably continue to see in one way or another.
The minister also says the modulars are similar to regular classrooms with natural light and bathrooms for the kids.
This is CTV News Calgary.
Okay, Adriana, you've been crunching the numbers, and your conclusion is we got a lot of snow yesterday.
Yeah, that's right. Anybody could tell you that. We saw the most amount of snow here in southern Alberta, of course, up to 35 centimeters. But as you look at the sky conditions today, you would have not guessed we had that massive storm. Now, here's a look at those snowfall totals reported by Environment and Climate Change Canada. Reported last night at 9 p.m., Gem saw a total of 35 centimeters. Gleason, close 30 to 35 centimeters. And here in Calgary, that ranged between 10 and 26. Claresholm saw 14 centimeters and Brooks, 10 centimeters of snow. But today, everybody is experiencing that melting. Those highs today reached 4 degrees here in Calgary. That's our current temperature. 5 in Banff, 7 in Edmonton, as well as Rocky Mountain House. Jasper saw a high of 9 degrees, along with Grand Prairie, 6 in Brooks, Medicine Hat, Lethbridge, 7 degrees in Milk River. And on the other side of that boundary, we saw 9 degrees in Cranbrook. Now, as we continued through the afternoon, some gustier wind conditions, especially towards the southeast. Medicine Hat, that peak gust of 43 kilometers an hour. Lethbridge, 39 kilometers an hour. And Brooks, that peak gust of 31 in Banff, gustier conditions of 37 kilometers an hour as well. Now here's a look at the radar satellite, clearing all across Alberta. That chance of flurries in the mountains, foothills, along with Calgary, that is also clearing as the clouds continue to be pushed further southeast. Now tomorrow into the weekend, throughout the weekend, and even into early next week, we'll continue to see clear conditions. It's not until tomorrow afternoon into Sunday that eastern and central parts of the province could see a bit more of that cloud cover. But our 5-day forecast looking really warm. 8 degrees is the high tomorrow, and those overnight lows really stay above freezing also. But it's Sunday where we'll see the warmest temperature, 15 degrees, 18 on Monday, and 17 on Tuesday. So this weather is not just here for the weekend, into early next week as well. That overnight low on Monday, 7 degrees. So really the best forecast for our weekend and ahead as well. Our 5-day forecast brought to you by Action Furnace.
Thanks, Adriana. Ships are now moving through the Strait of Hormuz. Iran says the waterway is fully open to commercial vessels, but Donald Trump said the blockade on Iranian ships will remain in force. Financial markets took today's developments as a sign the shaky truce is holding. Adrian Gabriel reports.
This critical waterway has been a turbulent geopolitical flashpoint for more than a month. The Strait of Hormuz, through which 20% of the world's oil is shipped, has reopened. Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi writing on social media that in line with the ceasefire in Lebanon, the passage for all commercial vessels through the Strait of Hormuz is declared completely open for the remaining period of the ceasefire. U.S. President Donald Trump confirming the development as well, while posting on his Truth Social page that the naval blockade will remain in full force and effect as it pertains to Iran, only until such time as our transaction with Iran is 100% complete.
It should pave the way for, negotiations to end this war. Or it could also be used just to put pressure on the United States with their blockade against, commerce coming out of Iran.
Prime Minister Mark Carney took part in a call with world leaders today on restoring freedom of navigation through the strait. His office saying in part that the Prime Minister stressed the importance of international cooperation to protect navigation rights and promote stability for commercial shipping through a defensive framework grounded in international law. While oil fell more than 10% Friday, the average price at the pumps for Canadians remains elevated. Gas price experts are predicting an 8-cent drop by Tuesday, though that's after an 8-cent spike across parts of the country expected tomorrow.
That's because of the switch to summer gas from winter gas. Then you have the drop in excise tax on Monday, and so everything's wish-washing around.
This comes as Air Canada announced it's suspending flights from Toronto and Montreal to New York's JFK International Airport from June 1st until October 25th due to rising jet fuel prices that are cutting into their profits. In Europe, the International Energy Agency says that continent has roughly 6 weeks of jet fuel remaining, with potential flight cancellations on the horizon as well.
It's going to take another few weeks, I think, in my mind, before we start seeing the big vessels coming through. And then it's going to take another 6 weeks on the sea to move things like aviation fuel to those countries that are running out of fuel as we speak today.
Any hope of peace and stability in these waters hangs on the ebbs and flows of ongoing negotiations. Those safety concerns do still remain in the Strait. President Trump today claiming that the U.S. is now working with Iran to remove mines from the vital waterway. Adrian Gobriel, CTV News, Toronto.
Mark Carney told leaders at a virtual summit today that Canada welcomes the reopening of the Strait of Hormuz. The Prime Minister's office says Canada is ready to help ensure safe passage through the strait via diplomatic efforts. Carney also welcomed yesterday's announcement of a ceasefire between Israel and Lebanon. Air Canada is pausing some flights in response to the elevated cost of jet fuel. The airline says prices have doubled since the start of the Iran conflict, and some routes are no longer economic. Those include flights from Toronto and Montreal to New York's JFK Airport. The carrier says they won't operate between June 1st and October 25th, and they will contact affected customers. Some Calgary seniors are going toe-to-toe with their landlords. Still to come, why the seniors say their housing is unsafe and why they're careful about going public with their comments. And renovations announced for the oldest hospital in Alberta. A group of Calgary seniors has filed a lawsuit against their landlord, alleging unsafe conditions. They also say there are now threats that their leases would be canceled if they raise concerns to management. Kevin Green reports.
Some residents of Edwards Place in the East Village and the Oddfellow Rebecca apartments on 2nd Street Southwest say non-residents have entered their buildings, sometimes passing out in the hallways.
Sometimes 5 women, 4 men, 3 women drunk on the drugs. It's just a nightmare.
The buildings are operated by Calgary Heritage Housing. Residents raise other issues, including elevators non-functional for months, bed bug infestations, and floods. We've shielded their identities because residents say speaking publicly risks non-renewal of their lease. They say after raising concerns with management, this is what they were told.
We are not accepting you to stay here anymore because you have too many complaints and we feel you'll be happier somewhere else.
Under Alberta legislation, a year-to-year lease doesn't have to be renewed. Landlords don't have to give a reason, just 3 months' notice.
So legally they can do it. But it's not always about legal. It's about what's right. We have vulnerable seniors here who have no avenues.
Residents have filed a lawsuit against Calgary Heritage Housing. Their lawyer says no one should fear losing their home for voicing their concerns.
And I think it defeats the purpose of any legislation where you have vulnerable people or, whether it's low income or in this case seniors. Where do they go? Where are they supposed to go?
The lawyers have taken steps to prevent residents from losing their housing while the case moves forward.
We did manage to get them a stay of enforcement. So at least for this time being, they have a place. Now, what happens in the future depends on what happens with this application.
Still, some residents remain worried, fearing they'll eventually be forced out.
I don't have another place to go, and that's the other thing too. Do I go and rent storage?
CTV did reach out to Calgary Heritage Housing. The CEO replied saying the agency has no comment as the matter is presently before the courts. Kevin Green, CTV News, Calgary.
The lawsuit also names the provincial and civic governments as they have a regulatory role in seniors' subsidized housing. Both refuse comment, saying it's now a matter for the courts. The Alberta government is spending $74 million to upgrade the Cardston Hospital. The hospital was built in 1959 and is the oldest in the province. Inpatient capacity will grow from 19 beds to 24, including labor and delivery rooms, along with 11 emergency treatment spaces.
Is to make sure that people have the critical health care that they need close to home. They can't have every medical service available in the community. There's some things you just have to go to a big center like Calgary and Edmonton for, or a larger regional hospital like Lethbridge. But we want to aspire to have as many services as close to home as possible.
Cardston it's a place of families. Family is important for us. And whatever that family looks like, we know that a hospital helps heal it and helps bridge the gaps.
It's hoped renovations will be complete by 2031. Alberta's first Indigenous recovery community opened today. The Blood Tribe Recovery Community will be home to 75 beds for those facing addictions. The facility was funded by the Government of Alberta and operated by the Blood Tribe Department of Health. Traditional healing practices will be incorporated into treatment.
It goes back decades, actually, when you add it up, how long we've needed that missing component in the continuum of care. Right from detox to treatment to aftercare, all of those pieces have been slowly added to our community service model, and this one just really brings it all home for us on Blood Tribe.
I've been working with chiefs and council here over the years, and literally everybody has lost somebody to addictions, and so to have this in their community is going to be, it's life-changing. We're literally going to be saving lives here.
This is the first of 5 such facilities planned for the province. It was a bit of a get-to-know-you session. Next, the Calgary Zoo's newest polar bear comes face-to-face with his new friend. Calgary's new polar bear seems to be hitting it off with the zoo's longtime resident. That's Yele on the left, meeting nose to nose with Siku. There's still a mesh fence between the two to make sure everything goes okay. 20-year-old Yele recently arrived from a zoo in Quebec. Zoo officials here say they're encouraged the two will eventually share the habitat. Nice to see them getting along.
Looking for a friend.
Absolutely. Right. Well, how many people took dance lessons when they were kids and then more or less quit once they became adults? Not this trio. These women put on practically an impromptu demonstration in Irish dancing. They were at a nightclub in San Francisco for a show by Chasing Abbey. That's an Irish band that brings in electronic influences too.
My daughter did Irish dance. Don't think she's doing that now.
She couldn't do that now?
I don't know. Have to see.
They're bringing big energy.
Yeah, it's a great workout, yep. I am sure. Well, people with big dogs have big responsibilities. Imagine telling this dog it has to get off the couch.
Miranda. Miranda.
In case you haven't figured it out, this dog is named Miranda, and she is huge. On the internet, people are guessing her weight is a solid 165 pounds, and that she's in Newfoundland. Her owner has another dog, much smaller, named Gloria. Must make for an interesting dynamic in that home.
Miranda looks like a bear.
She does.
Just enormous.
Like she's huge, right?
A lot of brushing involved there. A lot of shedding, I imagine. Well, rivers are rising in some parts of Canada, creating a risk of flooding. But in Ottawa, some people are taking advantage of it. These kayakers are having fun in the rushing water of the Ottawa River. It might look fun, but they stress the fast-moving water is quite dangerous and only safe for professionals. Also, they never go out alone.
That looks terrifying.
Yeah, but they're having a good time.
They are.
Well, it's a use for drones you might not have imagined. Still ahead, a demonstration of how drones and explosives can trigger avalanches to keep people safe.
A look outside at your Skywatch weather camera. Things are looking clear as those clouds have cleared away this afternoon. And that just continues into our weekend. Today, so far, we've seen a high of 4 degrees. That's actually our current temperature. Normally around this time, we see about an average of 12 degrees. That record high of 1923 was set at 26.7 degrees. Right now, across Alberta, all above zero in the mid to upper single digits as we did continue continue to see those cloud conditions clear up. Your 24-hour forecast brought to you by Action Furnace. Fix right or it's free. This evening around 2 degrees. Overnight low of -7. Clear conditions warming up though. By tomorrow afternoon, we'll see that high of 8 degrees. And it only gets better from here thanks to this upper ridge across Western Canada that continues to push further east, bringing those daytime highs into the mid double digits. Tomorrow, 19 degrees in Salmon Arm, 14 in Golden, Fernie expecting a high of 12. Similar conditions further north, 13 in Red Deer, 12 in Edmonton, and a bit cooler for Fort McMurray, 4 degrees there. But double digits around Calgary, while we expect a high of 8 degrees, but thanks to a west wind that may be pushed a little bit further closer to the double digits. Lethbridge, 16 degrees, 14 in Medicine Hat, 12 in Pincher Creek, and 14 degrees in Brooks. Looking at our 10-day trend, things stay above zero for the next foreseeable future. We may see a dip Wednesday as a little bit more of the wet weather comes, but we are well into spring-like conditions.
Thanks, Adriana. A Calgary family is shocked over a hit and run on their own driveway. The driver slammed into 2 vehicles and a garage door during Tuesday's snowstorm and took off. Elections Alberta says a government decision to once again redraw the province's electoral map could cause problems and higher costs. It will be a tight timeline to prepare in time for a fall 2027 election. The family of a 15-year-old Calgary boy who died in an avalanche says Nakiska hasn't provided any condolences or information on what happened. Emilio Histira's family says the silence is hurtful and insulting. Avalanches pose a constant threat to skiers, but drones now have regulatory approval to carry explosives in Whistler, joining the fight to control avalanches and save lives. Believed to be a first in Canada, a Squamish, BC company flew explosive-laden drones to deal with avalanches in Whistler Blackcomb. In a demonstration, Alpine Solutions launched specialized drones that dropped explosives onto unstable snow, a preemptive safety measure to trigger avalanches when the skiers aren't around. According to Avalanche Canada, the number of fatal avalanche accidents over the past 10 years has shown a slight decline. As of April, though, at least 13 people in Canada have died in avalanches this winter. Investors embrace the news out of the Middle East. BNN Bloomberg's Mirella Fernandez has more.
Markets shot up today on news the Strait of Hormuz is fully reopening. The move up for stocks came with a move down for oil. West Texas had a double-digit drop. The biggest losers on the TSX were energy stocks. They were down about 3%. The biggest gains were made in consumer discretionary stocks. Here are the closing numbers for the day. The Canadian dollar is up to 73.05. West Texas Intermediate down over $8 to 82.59. Western Canadian Select is up over $2 to 72.70. And the TSX shot up 294 points today, but still is shy of a record. Those are your business headlines. I'm Mirella Fernandez.
A one-time payment intended to help lower-income Canadian households with the high cost of living will go out on June 5th.
The new Canada Groceries and Essentials benefit will provide direct relief to more than 12 million Canadians, helping to offset the cost of groceries for working families.
The federal government will issue a direct payment equivalent to 50% of the existing GST HST credit for 2025-26. Any family that already receives that tax credit will automatically get a one-time top-up. Ottawa says a family of 4 with a net income of $40,000 will receive $533. A single person earning $25,000 a year would get half that amount. Ford is recalling about 144,000 Ford F-150 trucks in Canada. The recall affects 2015 to 17 model year vehicles equipped with 6-speed automatic transmissions. There's a gear shift issue that the company says may lead to an unexpected downshift into a lower gear while the vehicle is in motion. The Flames cleaned out their lockers today. They missed the playoffs, but there is promise for the future. Glenn has that story coming up. The Calgary Flames wrapped up the season last night on a winning note. Glenn is back with us. And Glenn, you have to give the Flames credit. They played to the very end.
Ian, the Flames wrapped up the season with a 3-1 victory over the Los Angeles Kings. They finished with 77 points and finished 29th overall in league standings. And once again, though, they missed the playoffs. For the 4th year in a row, the Calgary Flames will watch the postseason from the sidelines.
No one should be satisfied with anything because we missed playoffs and we lost more games than we won. So at the end of the day, that's not good enough, and we want to be better next year.
Getting off to a 1-9 start to the regular season hurt the Flames, and they never recovered.
Besser takes the drop pass. He shoots. He scores.
Head coach Ryan Huska had this message for his team heading into the offseason.
Really, where we're at right now isn't okay, and our players need to leave that when they're leaving here, and we had a good short meeting about that with the group this morning.
A positive for the Flames is they played their kids and they got better as the season wore on.
Pulls back up. Look at that elusiveness. Parekh shoots. Scores!
This goal by Zane Parekh is hopefully a sign of things to come.
I think a big thing's confidence. I think at the start of the season I was second-guessing myself a lot. I think I've always had it since the start. It just took a while for me to get adjusted to the pace, and you know, and my decision-making had to get a little bit quicker, but I feel great. I feel confident.
The Flames are clearly in a rebuild, but the players have belief they can get back to the playoffs as early as next season.
Yeah, of course. I mean, you know, if you tell yourself you can't, then you know, why are you even competing?
This will be another big off-season for the Flames. They have plenty of draft capital, and they're guaranteed a top 6 pick at the NHL draft. But of course, they'd love to win the lottery on May 5th.
The draft lottery is an exciting time, for sure. Everybody wants the first overall pick. Everybody in that draft lottery wants it. And we're all just like we want to make the playoffs. We want to win every night. We want to win the draft lottery. That's the way we are, with the way we're built. But we're going to get a very good player, 1 to 6.
Now, the Flames have a lot of picks at this year's NHL draft. They have 2 picks in the first round, 4 in the second round, 2 more in the third. This team will continue to stock the shelves, which is what they have to do in a rebuild.
Yeah, it's interesting. They did not have a good season, but still there's a fair amount of optimism around this
There's positives for sure. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
I'm excited for next year already. Okay, Adriana, that snow is melting away.
It's melting away, and it just continues to melt as those daytime highs get even warmer into the weekend. But we're going to take a look at our weather window. This is brought to you by Lux Windows and Doors, crafting quality windows and doors for your style, budget, and Alberta's climate. And this picture was sent in by Barney this afternoon right here in Calgary overlooking the Bow River. We're seeing plenty of sunshine, and you can still see a bit of the snow there, but fear not, that is expected to melt. If you have a great photo you'd like to share with us, you can always email us, calgaryweatherpics@bellmedia.ca. But here's a look at our 5-day forecast. Sunshine, 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 as that daytime high by Monday could reach 18 degrees. So upper teens, but then a big drop as we see a little bit more wet precipitation on Wednesday, but those daytime highs staying above 0.
Yeah, it looks pretty good. Thanks very much. Thank you for joining us, and have a great night.